One thing the governments around the world are trying their absolute best to prevent is the launching of nuclear warheads. Why? Because there's no way to take it back. Because it's extremely serious, on a level that could wipe out an entire planet. Or because it's entirely possible for it to happen at the fingertips of the leaders of superpowers in countries that possess nuclear weapons. And would you believe that in our world, there are more than 12,000 nuclear weapons? And even though none of them have been launched, they still play a huge role in shaping the direction of our world right now. You can support more nuclear information at this QR code or support the Sci Money Monster channel. It's super easy. Just like, share, and comment to chat with us. But what I really want you to do most is hit that subscribe button for me, please. Oh, and if any of you have supported my channel, whether from the very beginning or just recently, right now I've been nominated as a finalist for the Thailand Influencer Awards 2025. Please go vote for me. Thank you. How likely is it that the fingertips of a world leader with nuclear weapons could actually launch a nuclear warhead at another country? Let's start with the United States. According to US law, the President of the United States has the sole and absolute authority to order the launch of nuclear missiles. And by law, no one can override the President's decision. The President can order a nuclear strike within 5 minutes using special authorization codes and relying on a football. It doesn't actually look like a football. It's this bag that's used to authorize a nuclear launch. The term football isn't even English in this context. It's American football, which is something that is all about attack. The football they're talking about is actually more like a rugby ball. Let me explain. See, just like that, I want to make sure you understand it's American football. Now, in Russia, the president of Russia is also the only person with the absolute authority to order a nuclear strike. President Vladimir Putin has attended national meetings with a military officer carrying the nuclear command briefcase following behind him. And then there's China, another major power. Of course, they have nuclear weapons too. But who actually has the absolute authority to order a nuclear launch? That's a secret. Honestly, I don't think that information is actually available. I couldn't find any sources on this, or maybe I just couldn't read them, I'm not sure. So I haven't come across it. But it's assumed that it's probably only President Xi Jinping who has the authority to order a nuclear strike for China. I'm not certain though, so if anyone knows, let me know. What's clear is that the 3 major countries with nuclear warheads have them pointed at each other, not just for launching attacks, but also as a way to prepare to intercept one another. If someone who possesses nuclear weapons suddenly decided to launch one, what would that look like? Let's use AI to visualize it. Here's an example of a current generation nuclear warhead from the United States. You can see there's a kind of capsule, and inside there's something like a cone. The cone itself is about 2 meters long. Let's say, for example, it's launched from the airspace over Washington, D.C., and then releases that 2-meter-long cone from the capsule. The cone shoots down, piercing through the atmosphere all the way to Earth. As soon as it hits the ground, what happens next is a massive fireball, like a giant dome, will form. This becomes the hottest thing in our solar system, hotter than the sun itself. The heat, which exceeds 100 degrees Celsius, expands outward in a dome shape, turning everything around it into ash and dust, even finer than any regular dust. That's because the dust created by a nuclear explosion, it tears things apart at the atomic level. This fireball will instantly vaporize everything within a half-mile radius. Human bodies, buildings, everything you can see will be heated to the point of sublimation, rising into the air. Then comes the blast wave, a wall of air and high pressure moving faster than the speed of sound within a 1-kilometer radius, destroying everything in its path. Nothing will be left on the surface. After that, the heat wave will burn everything within an 8-kilometer radius to nothing. Everything, no matter what it is, anything you can see. Every human's flesh will catch fire. Then comes a massive mushroom cloud shooting up into the sky, dragging a storm of dust, dirt, and debris along with it. And the nuclear dust, it turns into toxic dust, laced with radiation, combined with tiny particles from atoms being torn apart. This poisonous dust will spread across all regions for hundreds of kilometers, releasing deadly, invisible energy everywhere it goes. It settles on the ground, lingers in the water, clings to living things, sticks to people, and these toxic atoms will slowly release radiation for years, decades, centuries, or even thousands of years. Now, could you rewind back to the part about the new generation of American nuclear weapons before they launched the warheads? Please, rewind. See, inside that warhead, how many cones like this are there? 8, right? And what I just explained was about releasing just one of those cones. If they went all out and launched all 8, the destruction would multiply many times over. I think the world would end up with a new belly button, a new navel right near the Earth itself. Of course, this hasn't actually happened yet, because if it did, everything would be a total mess by now. But regardless, there really are countries that possess these missiles. I'll go over the numbers and show you how many each country has. But what's certain right now is that there are more than 12,000 nuclear missiles in the world. And even though they haven't been launched yet, they still play a major role in shaping the direction of our world. There are both pros and cons to this. If you look at it, wars are happening all over the world right now, whether it's Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Iran, or even Thailand and Cambodia. And there are also conflicts that aren't exactly wars, like the trade war between the United States and China. You can see that if the parties involved don't try to come to the table themselves, there will always be someone backing them from behind, saying things like, "Come on, negotiate a ceasefire and we'll lower tariffs for you," or something along those lines. There will always be people stepping in to say, "Don't fight." And the reason they have to play this role is because if the fighting really escalates, it could trigger the urge to launch nuclear missiles. But if you ask me, if they're really so afraid and don't want to launch missiles, then why do they even have them? Let's start by asking why they began producing them in the first place. If you look back, even before the Cold War, all the superpowers were power-hungry and afraid of losing their dominance. So they looked for ways to maintain their power, which led them to believe they needed to possess weapons of mass destruction to hold on to their authority. And then, at one point, there was research into using energy from 2 types of minerals, thorium and uranium. Thorium is considered safe, while uranium is not, because uranium can be used to make nuclear weapons. Can you believe that thorium? The research on thorium was abandoned, and funding was cut off, mainly because thorium can't be used to make nuclear weapons. Thorium can't be used to create power for the United States, so there was no reason to support it. Instead, they chose to support uranium. In 1935, American physicists discovered uranium-235, which became the starting point for the development of nuclear weapons. And in 1945, the Manhattan Project. The United States developed the world's first nuclear weapons research and development project. And in the same year, on August 6, 1945, after successfully developing nuclear weapons, the United States actually used them for the first time, dropping a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. That event caused hundreds of thousands of people to die instantly, and the number of deaths and injuries kept rising due to radiation exposure. But even though such a massive tragedy had occurred, when other countries saw that the United States was able to develop such a weapon and realized how destructive it was, no one backed down. The war ended and the world changed. Nothing was ever the same again. But that was just the beginning. This marked the beginning of a new kind of conflict in the world. That's why, in 1960, a project called the Atomic Energy Commission, which was researching thorium to produce nuclear energy, a process safer than using uranium-235 because thorium can't be used to make bombs, had its funding cut. The project was scrapped during the Cold War, and instead, support was shifted to developing uranium-235 for nuclear energy, since it could be used to make nuclear weapons. A few years later, the Soviet Union managed to develop its own nuclear weapons. They created what was called the King of Bombs, the Tsar Bomba 50, which had a yield of 50 megatons. Normally, nuclear explosions range from 1 to 10 megatons, but Russia made this single bomb with a yield of 50 megatons. 50 megatons. And since then, many countries have developed their own nuclear weapons. If you add up the number of nuclear weapons each country has reported in the media, there are more than 12,000 warheads in the world. Those 12,000 warheads are enough to blow up this planet we live on. So let's take a look at who has the most. If you look at this chart, you'll see that the country with the most nuclear bombs in the world is Russia. The number you see here is actually less than the real total. Back in the Cold War era, Russia had 109 more warheads, but now Russia has 4,380 warheads. In second place is the United States, which has a total of 3,708 nuclear bombs. That might seem like less than Russia in terms of quantity, but it's possible that having a little less isn't a big deal, because the United States has both more advanced and newer technology. That could mean it's possible that the more than 3,000 warheads the US has are actually more powerful than Russia's. As for China, it has the third largest number of nuclear bombs, but it still can't compare to the top two countries at all, since it only has about 500 warheads. Still, that's a lot, but it's possible that some of them might not be fully operational or usable at their full potential. So, if you ask which country seems to have the most frightening nuclear capability, the answer is still the same as before, for the 10th time. The United States, because the US doesn't just have nuclear bombs, they have them everywhere. This is called a nuclear strategy, or a nuclear posture. The US has positioned its nuclear weapons in many locations around the world, in allied countries, whether it's on land, in space, or deep underwater and submarine bases. They have it all. And just this year, in May, there was news about this. The United States. They're going to send 6 B-2 bombers, along with 47 military transport planes. Now, there's a possibility that these planes are transporting nuclear weapons. Where are they taking them? To a small island called Diego Garcia, which is in the Indian Ocean. The United States said they were transporting something, but didn't specify what, claiming it was to prepare for strategic operations. If you look at this island, Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean, if there are missiles stationed here and they're launched from this spot, their range would cover 3 areas. They could be fired at North Korea, China, Russia, or even Iran. Basically, they could hit all those targets from just a single island. And this is one of the United States military strategies. It's pretty terrifying, right? Just possessing nuclear warheads, even if they haven't been launched, definitely has an impact. It affects that country's power, its military influence, and makes the country look like, hey, I've got nukes. You see that? That's why whenever North Korea or China holds a military parade, they always make sure to show off their nuclear weapons. The 12,000 nuclear warheads in our world, whether directly or indirectly, shape our entire planet. They're making the global chess game even more complicated. For example, this is one of the reasons why Europe has to take a stand against Russia. Putin once said, Hey, honestly, Russia isn't Europe's enemy. We've never wanted to take over European territory, so why hate Russia? But here's the thing. When the Russia-Ukraine conflict broke out, Putin announced that Russia's nuclear forces were put on high alert. Basically, he was saying they were ready to launch. This was a way to send a clear message to Europe. If you mess with Russia, just know I have nukes. President Vladimir Putin has even said, anyone who tries to stop us and threatens our country or our people should know that Russia's response would be immediate, and it would bring consequences that you have never faced before in your history. That's exactly why Europe really doesn't like Russia and sees Russia as having seriously violated the principles of the United Nations Charter, basically threatening others by saying, I have weapons, so don't mess with me. But at that time, instead of sending NATO troops directly into Ukraine to help, Europe didn't actually send those 40,000 troops into Ukraine itself. They stayed at Ukraine's border, warning Russia of catastrophic consequences. Russia wasn't deterred. As fighting between Russia and Ukraine continued, the United States and Europe sanctioned Russia in every possible way, seizing $300 billion from the SWIFT system. This made Russia extremely angry. Ultimately, all Europe and the US could do was send money and weapons to Ukraine. But they still haven't won. As for another pair, India and Pakistan, they've also been fighting all along. But with these two, neither side can overpower the other. Why? Because both countries have nuclear missiles, and their capabilities are very evenly matched. India has a total of 172 warheads, while Pakistan has 170. Like I said, nuclear weapons really matter. You have 172, I have 170. So they just keep fighting. But they don't fight that hard. This is actually one of the benefits of each country having nuclear weapons. It makes the big countries, especially those with similar nuclear capabilities, hesitant to really go at each other or fight as fiercely as they did back in the colonial era, when they just invade and destroy other countries outright. I've heard people say this a lot. If they're so scared of fighting, why not just get rid of all the nuclear weapons? No one would actually launch them. Honestly, as long as people are still in control and thinking clearly, I don't think anyone really wants to fire them, because provoking someone to the point where they're so angry that they'd actually launch a nuclear weapon, that's really pushing it. Once someone presses that button, you can be sure others will follow, and it won't be just one. There will definitely be retaliation. And if a nuclear war were to break out, there would be no winners at all.